evening.
Good evening.
This is the agenda of the regular board meeting, the Board of Trustees, Village of Burnham, Cook County, Illinois, October 10th, 2023. At this time, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee
Here.
Hodges?
Here.
Trustee Garcia?
Here.
Trustee Greer? Trustee Richardson?
Here.
Trustee Claybrook?
Here. Quorum present, will you stand for the pledge of allegiance? Could you lead us, Trustee Cap?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Are there any corrections of the minutes of board meeting that was held on September 26, 2023? Any correction to the minutes? If there are no corrections to be made, I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes of September 26, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
There's a motion approved by Trustee Cap to approve the minutes. Will you give a second, please?
I second the motion.
Second by Trustee Hodges. Will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Motion passed, thank you. Before we open the meeting to the public, if you have anything to address the board, you would just stand up and address the board. And please limit yourself to 3 minutes, and I will call you. So if there are any public comments, then you can address the board. So I would ask for a motion to open the meeting to the public.
I motion to open the meeting to the public.
Okay, there's a motion for by Trustee Hodges and second by Trustee Claybrook. Will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Okay, motion passed. So, are there any public comments?
Maria Munoz. I was not able to make it to the meeting at the school about the golf course. I just wanted to know if I could have a little recap of what the meeting was about.
Well, we had put that in the newsletter. I think we put that in there for at least 2 months in the water bill. But basically, it was just discussing some ideas. There's some discussion is about as to whether the golf course will stay as a golf course or whether it would be used for some other recreational ideas for the community. So that's pretty much what it was about. Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Yes, sir.
Andrew Johnson. I was just curious, now it looks like they put a speed thing, a register on State Street there, I think it's by Marquette. And I know several other places where it looked like they'd be going much, much faster than there. I was trying to see, what was the thinking of putting it, one there? It's near State Street and Marquette, they had there. And I don't.
Well,
Here, let me answer that question. There's a lot more of them, and you just haven't noticed.
Yeah, on State, near State and Marquette, going across.
On all the
going
other
across.
streets, all the other streets. In Burnham,
Well, I know that street down Torrance Avenue.
and then there's one on Burnham too. It's been catching you, by the way.
So in other words, you'll be getting something in the mail soon.
Yeah, a lot of something. I don't want to be the postman.
Got his photo on.
Well, the one on State Street for that location,
Yes, it
back
was.
at Saginaw.
Yeah.
And the reason it was put there for that, put it elsewhere. So, I would like to see it as State and Alice, so at some future time, we're gonna have it moved, put it down there. But most of the traffic coming from Indiana, they're driving quite swiftly coming through that, so. Okay. Are there any other public comments? So I'll ask for a motion to close the meeting to the public.
I make a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So we have a motion on the floor by Trustee Richardson to close the meeting to the public. Should we have a second?
I second.
A second by Trustee Hodges. Will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Thank you. Motion passed. Well, in the mayor's report, I just want to mention a couple of things. So we've been doing some sidewalk repairs. So all the sidewalk repairs are done for 2023. They're complete. So all the contractor has to do is fill the dirt in, and Wayne, he said he would put the seeds out before it snows, the grass seeds, but the dirt will be filled up this week or next week. If the Lord's will, we'll certainly come back and do more in 2024, and we continue to do repairs every year. So a lady called me up the other day, so she wanted to know what the criteria was. Well, the main criteria is that the sidewalk, if they're raised and it's a tripping hazard, then that takes precedent over a sidewalk being cracked, because a raised sidewalk could be a liability, as opposed to a cracked sidewalk just doesn't look good. So we'd be more concerned about the safety than we would the appearance. The other thing is that as far as the new sidewalk goes and the old sidewalk, but the new sidewalks in particular, we're going to ask that people would not use rock salt on the sidewalk, because it tends to eat the sidewalks up, so we'll be putting that out in the newsletter. So we're asking the residents to comply with that, because if we replace the sidewalk and the rock salt eats it up, then it will not be replaced anytime soon. So that's a waste of money, so we're just not going to be able to do it. So, and also, if the resident would begin to move the abandoned vehicles off the street, I see different things, parking trailers and whatnot parked on the streets. So if they could begin to move that, so once it's slow, we can get access to the streets, clean the streets properly for the community. And the last thing I said, which will come a little bit later, one of the major issues of society is that people have a lot of liability and a lot of debt. So we have some special people here tonight that will give us some ideas about that. So that's all I have in the mayor's report. At this time, we'll hear from the clerk.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Beginning tomorrow, October 11th, the Federal Emergency FEMA and Illinois Emergency Management Agency will be here at the village, going door to door only. Personnel will not ask to enter your residence. Personnel will be assessing flood damage from the flood from September 17th. All official personnel will have identification. Be aware of scams. Do not allow the entrance to anyone. No one should request entrance to your home. If anyone asks to enter the residence, immediately contact Village Police Department, dial 911, or non-emergency 708-891-2122. So FEMA's gonna walk around throughout the village tomorrow, going door to door, and there will be no reason for them to have to access inside your home. A code red went out to everybody that's registered. They would have received a text.
So how many people got that on your phone? Are you registered?
No text?
You got it?
Today,
Today I did.
early,
You got it?
This afternoon.
Okay.
I'll check.
I must not be.
Thank you.
So they only gonna be walking around one day, the 11th?
Yes.
Well, right now, they said, at first they said it would be the 11th through the 14th.
Okay.
They called today and just said the 11th, so I guess they'll see how far it goes tomorrow and go from there.
And they're just gonna ask you if you had flood damage?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what they're gonna ask.
Yeah. Is that it?
No, the Secretary of State mobile unit will be in the village of Burnham on Thursday, November 30th at the Senior Center at 13925 entry from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can do your renewal of your driver's license, state ID, renew your plate stickers, and also they will do the real IDs. So you just,
And for the real IDs, you have to have your birth certificate, otherwise they will not accept it. But you have to have your birth certificate with your other IDs.
What street is that close to?
I'm sorry?
It's on Green Bay. It's on Green Bay.
Cut down from the school.
It's on Green Bay down the street from the school. To the north, one block, not even, the next street.
Yeah, thank you, Clerk Lewis. Does anybody have anything on the public education, health and safety and welfare?
I'll just like to mention that, on October 28th, Kovic and Lahi will be at the community center, which will also be our final garage sale. So, you can also come and hopefully get that new COVID test, vaccination. And, I think they were doing flu shots. But for sure on October 28th, at the final garage sale for the
11
season.
to 5, 11 to 5.
It's from 11 to 5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Set up at 9 a.m.
The vendors that are
Yeah,
gonna be there
vendors,
will get all of that information.
That's trustee Griffin assistant.
Yes. And also, we'll be doing Kovic and, Lahi on the 30th of November, when the Secretary of State will be at the Senior Center. He'll be there also.
That shot, that new COVID shot's not free, so they have to bill your insurance again, like in the beginning.
I'm not sure about that,
Yeah,
Trustee.
it's not, the government's not
Oh,
paying
they're
for
not
that.
paying for that one?
Mhm.
But if you don't have any insurance, I'm sure it'll be free for those.
It's supposed to be this time.
I think they have something, you don't have insurance, there's something you fill out, something that they do work it out for you, though, I think. We'll check
We'll
on that.
find out.
Yeah, we'll check
Yeah,
on
this
that.
one's not free.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you, trustee Griffin, for that report.
Saturday, we had the fire prevention open house. We want to support our fire department, they do such an amazing job. I don't know if you want to talk more about it. Our chief is here, Chief Pooch.
It's on Friday though?
It's Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday from
You
10
said
to 2.
Friday.
Yeah.
So come on by, have our raffles at noon, so you come on by, we're gonna have refreshments and a little something, and come and see what we're all about.
All right, thank you, trustee Hodges, for the executive.
Also, it'll be a fundraiser that day.
Yeah, that's,
For the veterans.
Right. We'll be selling taffy apples.
yeah.
Okay.
How much? $36 a case and, $1.50 individual, apple.
Ms. Ross, you want 3 cases or?
6.
Okay, thank you.
That's 6 apples.
Okay, thank you again, trustee Richardson. Public Works, trustee Brooks.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Discussion of, consideration of, and taking action to approve or not approve on authorizing SMS construction for removal, hauling old sidewalks and replacement of new sidewalks at various locations throughout the village of Burnham, not to exceed the cost of $24,900.
Are there any questions of? Senator Hodges?
I make a motion to approve on authorizing SMS construction for removal, hauling old sidewalks and replacement of new sidewalks at various locations throughout the village of Burnham, not to exceed the cost of $24,900.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook, can we have a second to approve the sidewalk work?
Second.
It's second by trustee Richardson, will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Motion passed, thank you, proceed.
Discussion of, consideration of, and taking action to approve or not approve on authorizing affordable tree experts for trimming and removal of various trees throughout the village of Burnham, not to exceed the cost of $40,000.
Are there any questions? Fine, proceed.
I make a motion to approve on authorizing affordable tree experts for trimming and removal of various trees throughout the village of Burnham, not to exceed the cost of $40,000.
Could we have a second?
Second.
The motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook, second by trustee Richardson, and before the clerk take the roll, is that, we have a lot of issues with the trees and complaints that's come in regularly, and some of them are, safety issues. They're growing up in the wild, they're growing here, and some of the branches sometimes fall on different places where they shouldn't fall there, so, and some of the older trees are pushing up on the sidewalk, so I mean, it's a struggle, it's a battle, so, and we'll just continue to work to try to improve that as we go. Proceed, clerk.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Motion passed, thank you, proceed.
discussion of, consideration of, and taking action to approve or not approve on authorizing Briggs Tree Service for trimming various trees and the removal of a very large cottonwood tree that is located behind the police/Village Hall Road, not to exceed the cost of $25,000.
Any questions? I proceed.
I make a motion to approve on authorizing Briggs Tree Service for trimming various trees and the removal of a very large cottonwood tree that is located behind the police/Village Hall Road, not to exceed the cost of $25,000.
We have a motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook. Did you make the motion?
Yes.
You made the motion. So now we need a second, please.
Second.
Second by trustee Richardson. Will clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap,
Yes.
trustee Hodges,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
trustee Claybrook.
Yes.
Most bad. Do you have anything else, trustee Claybrook?
Yes. A few of the streets, public works, will be patching up and, semi-repaving. We have, 140, then 14508 Marquette, it's a sinkhole there. 14135 Saginaw, 143rd and 144th in Calhoun in the intersection, 143rd and Yates, just west of the alley. 14111 Saginaw, it's also a sinkhole. 13900 Saginaw, off the alley. 14130 South Hoxie, and 13940 Chippewa. So it's a plate that has to go over the hole. And also, one more thing, it's fall season, so when you're in your lawn and raking your leaves, the leaf collector will be out, and just rake your leaves to the parkway. Don't rake them in the streets. You know, the parkway will be fine, and we'll get out and get the leaves up. That's all I have.
Yeah, thank you, trustee Claybrook, for your report and your information. Ordinance, resolution, and planning, trustee Garcia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Discussion of consideration of and taking action to approve or not approve resolution number 2023-R-010, general street maintenance, motor fuel tax appropriations resolution, May 1st, 2023 to April 30, 2024. A resolution for the general maintenance of the streets and highways under the Illinois Highway, under the Illinois Code, within the Village of Burnham.
Okay, this is a resolution is under the IDOT, motor fuel tax resources. So, are there any questions? Okay, so did you make the motion already, trustee?
No.
Make the motion, okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-R-010, general street maintenance, motor fuel tax appropriations, resolution May 1st, 2023 to April 30, 2024. A resolution for the general maintenance of streets and highways under the Illinois Highway, under the Illinois Code, within the Village of Burnham.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by trustee Garcia to approve this resolution. So can we have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Claybrook. Will the clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap,
Yes.
trustee Hodges,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Richardson,
Yes.
trustee Claybrook.
Yes.
Motion passed. Do you have anything else, trustee Garcia?
No.
Thank you, trustee Garcia, for your information. Finance, trustee Cap.
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, trustee Cap. Public utilities, trustee Richardson.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
Those dates I mentioned, I think was October 28th and November 30th. Lahi will be there as well, assisting with water, utilities. So if you need help with any of those, you can come and seek help on those dates as well.
Okay, thank you, trustee Richardson. Park and recreation,
Good evening.
trustee Hodges.
Good evening.
Good evening. I went by the park district today, thank, the trustee Travis gave me a heads up. They got the new fall booklets out. I talked to the program director, they got some really interesting things going on. So they want the new fall booklet, they will be passing those out to Burnham residents going door to door, but if you don't wanna wait, I got some for you. And I'll be giving some of these out too. I got some, fall booklets for what's going on, fall programming. And this is a flyer, what's actually going on programming. they got at the Park District for this month. So you wanna see me for that, I got that. And also I have this flyer here. It's some free STEM programming for the kids. STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, math. They got some programming on every second Saturday of every month. And it's sponsored by 4-H Home Base. It's gonna be at Sandridge Community Center. And if you wanna know more about that, it'd be 708-868-2530. You can talk to me more about that. But you know I'm really into kids getting into after school programming. So you can see me about those things. And that's all I got tonight, Mayor. Also, yeah, don't forget to support the fire department Saturday because it's a really great day for kids to come by and get to meet the guys. And every time the kids come by, they seem to really enjoy that day. So even if you may not think much of it, if you know some kids, they may really want to go by the fire department Saturday at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Just one time you do it the green button.
Okay.
It's on.
So again, like I said earlier, one of the detriments that we have as a society is debt and liabilities. This is an independent group that's come to give us a presentation that may would assist some of our residents, so maybe we can offer some assistance if y'all would put it in.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Eric Sexton. I'm a financial advisor and planner. So our office is located in Empowerment Resources International. I'm going to play a couple slides. Empowerment Resources International, we've been in business for 19 years. We're located in the Mercantile Exchange Building downtown. And what we focus on in our planning is we explore the address of the systemic root causes of inadequate financial freedom. So we use proprietary software from this company called Your Family Bank out of Florida, which shows you how to get out of debt faster and 70% faster than what you will currently be doing. All right, and we also have a conservative strategy on investments and a progressive model to help our clients achieve their goals. So we sit down with individuals and show them how to maximize their earnings. Because a lot of times, more people are maximizing our earnings than we are. We know we all put our money in the bank, right? And what are we getting interest-wise on our money in the bank?
2%.
We getting less than 1%, right, on our money. So we show people another place where they can create their own bank. So I don't know how much time I got, but I'm gonna try to just kind of streamline through a number of different things. But I left you information, and there's also a sheet in there that if you want further information, we do one-on-one consultations and all that also. So just fill out the information if it's beneficial to you. Just give it to me at the end of the session, and then we'll go through it from there. All right, so let's see. Okay, all right, so we're gonna touch on a couple of things. Let me try to fast forward through some stuff. But we wanna show families how they eliminate their debt, including their mortgage, in 9 years of life. Pay your debt off, credit cards, student loans, all of that, in a faster process. So we have a debt elimination software that we sit down with individuals, we take all their information, and we input it into our software, and it gives us a strategy and a plan to eliminate the debt 70% faster than what you might currently be doing. So I'm gonna go right to, since the mayor, and thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to come to speak on debt, because that's one of the three issues with society is debt, interest, and fees. And so we know debt is a major issue, but then interest is what we're paying on loans that we take, whether it's our mortgages, whether it's credit cards, whether it's car loans, it's the interest that's eroding wealth. And then we have fees when we have our 401ks, our 457s, our 453s, all of those in deferred comp plans that now fees are being taken out of to like an example of how we help people, because I think it'll be the best thing to do is just go through one of the examples how we sit down with an individual and go from A to Z with them. It's dark in here, right? Okay, let's. Right, can everyone see that?
Jeff was already in it.
Whoa. All right, so I just wanted to show you the process when we sit down with individuals. I'll just sit down here. Okay, there we go. All right, so when we sit down with individuals, and in some of your packets you have this form. So we sit down with an individual and we go over all of their finances. So this particular person, we just brought her name out, one of our clients. She had 3 children, 18, 17. And what is her concern? She wanted to eliminate debt. She wanted to save for retirement. She wanted legacy, so she wanted some long-term growth. And she also wanted to increase her savings. So when we sit down with an individual, what they do is they list out all of their debts on this form. Because I have to locate, we have to show you where you currently are and what you're currently doing to see how we can get you to your destination effectively. So in this case here, like with this person, so you see the mortgage being listed there, and then you see there's a lot of credit card debt and student loans debt. So I'm going to show you how we help people get out of debt without them having to come up with any additional money. That sound good? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to tweak this person's plan. So this person's plan here, you see here, they're paying all their debts. You see the interest amount, and then you see the required minimum and what they're actually paying. So I'm gonna just take this first one, Upstart. So up here on Upstart, they owe $7,200. Minimum required on a monthly basis is $229.04, but they're paying $250. How many people make overpayments to their debt? Overpayments to the credit card. Some people make extra mortgage payments, right? So, but not realizing a lot of times when we're making those overpayments, they're going to interest. And it's not really hitting the principal, especially with student loans. And so you see some people got student loans, they're retired and still got student loans. So what we show you is so we're going to tweak this person's strategy. So this person is making overpayments on each debt. So what we do is we take those overpayments that they're making and we redirect them into a different vehicle. It's called your family bank. It's where you create your own bank. How's that sound? Good. Create your own bank. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like. All right, so we took down all the overpayments, we put it over here. So she's not coming up with no new money to do this plan. Take down information if they got health insurance in place, and make sure you got that. Got the kids covered. All right, what this person's income was on an annual basis, making $88,000 annually. All right, here you would list if you got 401k, 403b, any of that information would go there. So you fill out these 3 sheets, and there's some other questions. If you don't have a will and trust, we also do that also. We help you with, if you own property, make sure you put your property in a trust. All right, we don't want to lose it to probate. Okay, and so that's the first appointment. I gather the information so I can see where you're located, and you can see where you're located financially. All right, and so when we sit down the second time, now we come with a debt management report. Again, this is proprietary software, your family bank proprietary software. So we sit down with the individual, and now let's locate where they are and how we can expedite getting them out of debt faster, sooner than later. All right, so you see here on this analysis, redirected funds, $300 a month. All of those overpayments that were being made totaled out to $300. So now we're going to redirect those $300 into a different vehicle that's going to help expedite getting the person out of debt. So we list out the person's debt. So this is the person's debt. All the stuff that you saw that they wrote down on the sheet, they get a snapshot of it. All their debts. So it totaled out, her balance totaled out to $248,250. But what most people don't pay attention to is, what is the interest on your debts? And if you're a homeowner in here, and you look at your statement, and you see that, okay, well, I got a $300,000 loan for a house, I'm paying at 5% over 30 years, and then you see paying almost $300,000 in interest over that period of time for your house. So you're paying almost twice for your house. All right, so here this person has a balance of 248, but the interest on this is 335,000. All right, because a lot of times we're not thinking about the interest. We think about, well, here's my monthly mortgage, here's my monthly payment, but not thinking about the interest on the payments. So the real debt total is $583,000. So of course the client falls back in the chair because they're like, oh Lord, it's gonna take 52 years to wipe all that out. All right, so her debt total was here 248. Her real debt is just under 600,000, and it's gonna take what she's currently doing. It's gonna take her 52 years to wipe it. So we input it into our software. We're gonna take her from 52 years down to 10 years on her debt. And again, these are real numbers. This is not hypothetical. This is sitting down, inputting a number, inputting it into the software, and then it's going to give you a payoff schedule of how you wipe your debt off each day in a snowball type effect. So on this first one, she's gonna pay this debt off. And we roll the money that she was paying on the minimum side back into her own bank, which that's what I'm gonna touch on next, just briefly, of how to set up your own family bank. Where now you're getting growth in interest on your money, and your money is able to do two things instead of one. The average person, when they're spending their money is doing the one thing that they spent it on. But they're never getting the growth in interest on the money that they use to buy the item. Well, the wealthy don't buy a purchase like that. The wealthy leverage their money where they're getting growth in interest on their money, and they're purchasing the items that they desire. So their money's doing multiple things. So if you're familiar with the bank, this is you handling your finances like banks handle their finances. Banks leverage your money. You put your money in the bank, right? Bank ain't got no money. You put your money in the bank, and the bank leverages your money out and loans it out to multiple people. So they flip your money and make more interest on your money and growth on your money, and then give you 0.04% for your money. So they're like, thank you for yours. So we're teaching you how to do what banks do with your money. All right, does that sound good? I'm gonna go to one other slide, then we're pretty much done there. I got a lot of the information in that packet, so I don't want to take up so much of your time, because there's a lot of information to digest. All right. So if we're going to know how to handle our finances, like banks handle our finances, then we need to know how banks work. So I'm just going to touch on a couple slides in that. Say, how do banks give every dollar more than one job? So we teach people how to give every dollar that they earn more than one job, just like banks do. So an example, if you went and deposit $10,000 in the bank may give you what? 1% or less than 1% for your money, right?
Right.
All right, now you walk back into that same bank the next day and say, you know what, I'm gonna borrow $10,000. I don't wanna take my $10,000 now, but I wanna borrow against my $10,000. They're gonna say, okay, sit down, let's run your credit, let's see what collateral you got. They're gonna do all of that, right? Now, did you do that when you walked into the bank and put your $10,000 in there?
No.
Okay, all right, just checking. Okay. Now, the bank is going to assign you, based on your credit worthiness, an interest rate. Now, they're paying you less than 1% for your money, but then now they're charging you 5, 10, whatever your credit worthiness is, to use their money, right? How would y'all like to be the bank?
That's how they get rich.
How would you like to be the bank?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. How banks leverage cash flow. That's you putting your money in the bank. That's what they're giving you. Then now, they insure your money as soon as your money comes in the bank. Your money's insured, and then now they're able to loan it out up to 10 times. banks turn $1 into $7. So they leverage your money and make more money. Another illustration of this, that's banks, let's see this. Okay, so you borrow the money from the depositors, that's what banks do. Then they lend it out to borrowers at 6%. That's a 5% difference. That's a 500% profit for the bank. So the depositor earning 1%, the borrower paying 6%, and the bank earning 500%. Which one do you guys want to be?
Bank.
Okay. Do you know, no one has ever got this question wrong. You know that, right? Okay, let's keep going. All right, so financial world, we purchase everything two ways. Either you're paying cash or you're taking out a loan, you're borrowing. Now, what we talked about a little bit earlier on cash purchases, because we've been raised that cash is king. But when I spend cash for items, I give the opportunity to earn compound interest on the cash that I use. And I give that opportunity to somebody else. So I'm not getting the interest and growth on my money because I keep using it. Now the other way is we finance stuff. So we just take out a loan and then we pay back the loan. I know if I ask this question, people are going to say, Dad, which one is it? Are you a saver or a spender? What do you consider yourself, a saver or a spender?
Spender.
Okay, all right. So even if you're a saver, are you a saver or a spender?
Both.
All right, so most people are both. Okay, let's look. There's a problem both ways. What does a saver do? The saver saves up. Everybody starts at zero, right?
Right.
The saver saves up. Then, oh, shucks, I got to use that money to purchase something. Then they save up. Got to use that money to purchase something. Then they save up. They got to do it again, right? So they're in the cycle.
Right.
But every time that they interrupt this process, they lose the opportunity to earn interest on their money. So they never get to compound interest on their money. Their money never works for them. Money should be working for you, not you working for money. But most people, you hit the 1%, then you have 99%. Most of the 99% is working for money. It's not working for them. So the spender is the one that just takes out a loan, pays down the debt, takes out another loan, pays down the debt, takes out another loan, pays down the debt, right? So we're never getting to a place where we can actually build any kind of wealth because we like on a wheel of doing the same thing. It doesn't work. We can't get to our destination this way. Oh, I gotta go back here and touch this. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for your time. All right. I recommend everybody buy this book. But I had some additional copies that I brought. It's What Would the Rockefellers Do? They had a compounding strategy that they teach. And so a compounding strategy is putting your money in an investment that pays interest. And then taking the interest that you've earned at the end of the year and reinvesting it with your original stake so that your interest continues to earn a return, as does your principal. As this process is repeated year after year, the earnings snowball and your wealth grows. As you can imagine, the longer you allow your money to compound, the key word is uninterrupted, the more it grows. And if you're allowed to compound uninterrupted over many years, it's a key to successful compounding, can produce a fortune. So what that's saying is I'm putting my money in a vehicle and it's compounding over time, and the interest is getting interest, growing interest, as the principal is growing interest. So it's doing this now. It's starting in the second year. Whereas if I'm putting my money in a vehicle and I keep interrupting it, I never get interest on my money and it never grows. It never compounds. Does somebody want to read that?
Money never sleeps. Verb, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Amen.
That's a true statement, right? Most people are working for money. Money's not working for them. So we got to figure a way to get our money to work for us. Whether it's a lot or a little, how do I maximize my earnings? We know about mortgages. Who are the homeowners in here? Homeowners? Okay. So the truth behind mortgage debt. Why pay off a 5% interest rate, mortgage rate versus interest rate? What is always advertised to the public is the mortgage rate.
Right.
They don't advertise the interest rate. They advertise the mortgage.
They should advertise.
All right, so let's look at this particular individual, and then we'll fast forward. This individual got approved for a $300,000 loan, 30 years fixed at 5%, which made their monthly payment at $1,610. Now, the interest, look at the payments here. Look at the first payment. The interest out of that $1,610, $1,250 of that is going to interest, and $360 is going to the principal. Is that 5%?
No.
No, it's 78%. It's 78%.
No, but you know, a lot of people get adjustable rates.
And that's even worse.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Tell
So
it all.
adjustable rate, and
Tell it
then,
all, tell it all.
and so when you go forward in the same loan, let's look at the same loan.
Going up and down.
10 years into the same loan, the interest rate is still at 63%. 20 years into the same loan, it's at 39%. All right, the 29th year of a 30-year loan, 5.3. So with mortgages, credit cards, they use this thing called amortized interest. It's where they push all the interest to the front end of the loan.
Yeah.
They push it all to the front end of the loan, and that's what you're paying. So it's like, so I need, my house can be a liability more than an asset. So I need to turn this into assets because I got to pay this thing off quicker. So it's sites that show us how to calculate this stuff, amortization-calculate.com, or you go to bankrate.com. When you're making purchases, just put your information in, plug it in, and so you can see what the interest is going to be. Because most of the time, if you go on your apps, if you're doing online banking, or you pay your mortgage, or you got credit card loans, they'll tell you what your payment is, how much time you got. You got to really search, and most of the apps don't even have what your interest rate is and what the interest is being charged on your loan, because they don't want you to see that. They just want you to see, okay, I pay $1,600 a month, I can handle that, but not looking at all of your wealth is going out the door through interest. All right. So how to control wealth? Give me about 10 more minutes. All right. Now, most people's income is derived from a job, or they're a business owner, or they got a pension, or they get an inheritance. There are 4 things that you can do with your money. You can save it, you can invest it, you can spend it, or you do a good thing, give it away. Nobody like that, right? All right, now, what if before you did those 4 things that you put your money in an area or a place that you control, let's call this place your family bank. When you put your money inside your family bank, you earn dividends, guaranteed growth for life. Privacy, control, tax-free growth. You're able to leverage. You also have the protection of a death benefit and also creditor protection, so you can't get sued, they can't touch these funds. Zero market volatility, no losses ever. Wow. Okay, and because it's liquid, you have the opportunity to make investments, big purchases, car, college tuition, debt elimination, etc. All right, so what is your family bank? Your family bank is a system by which one becomes their own banker by growing a liquid cash value inside a property design whole life insurance policy while borrowing against it to fund major expenditures, emergencies, and outside investment opportunities. Now, I know people, I'm going to explain that this contract that you have with an insurance carrier is different from your traditional whole life that most people purchase. So I want to show you the difference in that. All right, so your family bank is simply the idea of creating a source of capital that you can access whenever for whatever you need, whether capital is needed for material purchases, car, businesses, all of those things, right? It's to use a whole life to become your own banker, utilizing this concept rather than traditional banks. Provides competitive safe growth rates, tax sheltering, various protection benefits, and most importantly, the continuous compounding of your liquid assets even while they're being borrowed. So now your money is doing 2 things in this vehicle. Because it's growing continuously, uninterrupted, and you're able to borrow against it and make your payments and your expenditures. I always use a third-party source to let you guys know this information is being talked about out here, and I want you guys to see what they're saying about this on CNBC.
Well, the market is, to say the least, a bit shaky. Interest rates have taken a dive. Where can you be sure of a decent return? You might want to consider life insurance. Yes, life insurance. Same expression I had on my face about 10 years ago when we said commodities. Joining me now is Joe Hyder, President of Dawson Wealth Management Cleveland, and Adam Sherman, President of First Trust Financial Resources in Philadelphia. Dennis is with me as well. Joe, I'll start with you. Explain why you think this should be a new asset class for individuals, because we did hear that same thing a few years ago with commodities, which were then not an asset class for the general public. And it's turned out to be a big bet for a lot of people and a good one for people. Why life insurance now?
Well, it's simply taking the commodity that banks, corporations, and college endowments have been utilizing as a safe bet, long-term investment with high interest rates, virtually no volatility, and liquidity. And now we're simply looking at this as a potential for play for a portion of our clients' money and portfolios for safe long-term money.
And Adam, you agree that life insurance should be part of your portfolio. How much? What kind of a return should you expect to?
Well, Sue, in today's volatile marketplace, with money markets at 2% and 5-year CDs at 3%, the current crediting rates of permanent life insurance policies are now 4 to 4.5%. So depending on the size of a client's portfolio, we would like anywhere between 5 to 10% allocated to this new asset class.
Yes?
Well, hey, Joe, simple question. Do I have to die to reap a really good return on this investment?
No, you don't. The reality is, when Adam was talking about crediting rates in the 4 to 4.5% rate of return, it's very competitive with certificates of deposit and money market, but it has the dramatic added advantage that you pay no income tax on those gains ever if it's structured and the withdrawals are done properly.
Can I spend those gains, though, as I'm going while I'm alive, or do you spend those gains only after the policy pays off?
No, you can spend them while you're alive, which is the utilization that companies and banks have been utilizing for decades now to fund employee benefits and retiree benefits.
Okay. Hey, Adam, back in Forbes magazine, we always learn there's term life insurance, where you just kind of placing a bet, and if you die, it pays off big. And there's whole life, and we were always taught whole life bad, term life good. Which are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking more on the whole life side, and I'll take it a step further. Universal life, or call it permanent insurance in general, these products are the internal rates of return over a 20-year period can be anywhere between 4 and 5% if they're with good quality companies. The industry itself is a AA industry, so we feel pretty good about parking clients' monies in these contracts.
Now, I'm going to leave this up here for a second. I want you guys to see this headline. Life insurance gets a high rate of return and no tax is paid on the gains. I want y'all to think about that. No tax is paid on the gains. If you put your money in the bank and you get any interest on your money, you're going to fill out a 1099 and pay taxes on it. I don't care if it's $50. In this vehicle, and this is why the wealthy use this vehicle, and people that are aware of this vehicle use this vehicle, because they put their money in a tax-free environment. That now, as it grows in this tax-free environment, they pay no taxes on the gains. Now, if I'm paying my money from my employer into a 401k, what am I doing? I'm deferring my tax burden, right? I'm not paying tax on the seed, I'm paying it on the harvest, right? This vehicle, when you put your money in here, it grows tax deferred. Tax free. No tax. This is written in the IRS tax code too. Section 7702 of the IRS tax code talks about this contract. But the IRS is not going to promote this to individuals because they want you to pay taxes.
So I have a question. So life insurance, so again, so how can you benefit, beneficiary benefit, whoever, how can you benefit if you're still alive?
Okay, so these are specially modified whole life contracts with a number of carriers that provide them. So this is an accumulated focused contract. So normally with people that are aware of this, when they sit down and do life insurance, they sit down and negotiate their life insurance. Where we might just go purchase some life insurance because we just mainly been focused on the death benefit. If something happened to me, this will pay out to my family. These contracts, you're taking advantage of the living benefit. Because life insurance contracts have a living benefit. It has a cash value that you can build and that you can leverage out and continue to grow. And especially modified ones, you can overfund it. On your traditional whole life policy, when you buy, all you can do is pay your premium each month, whatever that amount is. With a specially modified one, when I'm making bonuses or making additional monies, I don't have to put it in Chase. I can put it in my own bank and then leverage it out while I'm still getting growth on the money, and then I'm still using the money to pay for whatever I need to pay for. So now my money's doing two things in this vehicle. So these are catered to a person taking advantage of it while they're living. And you have the death benefit if something happens to you.
But a whole life is more money than a term life.
Yes. And
Because of the benefit.
yes. So let me tell you quickly the difference between whole life and term. A lot of people buy term because it's cheap. We sell term too, but we try to partner term with the whole life. We use term as a strategy. Now think about life insurance. So when you buy a whole life policy, you just bought a house. Now you bought a house that when you're paying your premium, you're building equity that you can borrow from your house. But if you buy term insurance, you're renting an apartment. So it's just a lease for either 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or whatever the term is. When that term over, then the landlord's going to raise the rent because you're a new age at that point, and then you got to pay whatever that amount is from that point going forward. So again, that's the differences between both of the insurances. So which one would give you more benefits is whole life. But like I said, we don't focus on the death benefit. It's provided. We're focusing on the living benefit. That now I can do what banks do with my money. I can do it with my own money. I can maximize my own earnings. I'm getting ready to close out. All right, so what do we want to solve? Lost opportunity costs. When we talk about opportunity costs, that every time you try to save up and then you interrupt it, you lose opportunity.
Excuse me, we can have everybody's attention, please, if you would just pay attention to the meeting, though I really would appreciate it. There's a lot of talking. You would just pay attention.
Okay.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, hold on for 1 second, ladies. We almost done. All right, so solving lost opportunity costs. And we need to solve that. Because again, what we're doing is we're putting our money in vehicles that's doing one thing. We're buying an item or purchasing, but the money that I use to make the purchase, I'm not getting any growth or interest on that money anymore. I just gave it to somebody else. So I want to solve that. I want my money, I want to get growth and interest on my money, and I want to be able to purchase the items. I want my money doing two things. All right, so this vehicle allows you get guaranteed competitive growth rate. It's at 4% right now. Access and liquidity at any time. Tax-free growth and distribution. Uninterrupted interest growth. And even earn interest even while you're borrowing in this vehicle. There's only one financial vehicle that creates this. Perpetual, uninterrupted compound interest. One vehicle that does this. An accumulated focus, participating whole life is the best and most effective. So we deal with A-rated carriers. We're contracted with most of the insurance companies that we deal with. It's been around over a century. So it's not fly by night. This is not Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. This ain't none of that. This is a strategy that's been around over 200 years, and now we're showing individuals how to do what the wealthy have been doing with this strategy for decades. So I'm going to go to some examples, and then we're going to close out here. So how true wealth is created is by becoming our own bank, by directing our money to do two jobs instead of one. And let's look at some examples of people that have used this strategy. Anybody familiar with Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Okay. So Walt Disney, that park that he built down there in Florida, he went to the traditional banks and tried to get financing for his idea, because it was an idea. They got turned down. So he took a loan from his banking concept and it financed the park. That's how the park got started in Florida. Doris Crisp, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pampered Chef. Usually the ladies know about Pampered Chef. All right. But she started, same thing. She had a dream that required cash flow. She borrowed $3,000 from her banking concept, started a company. Warren Buffett just bought her company for over $1 billion. Y'all heard of J.C. Penney, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So during the Great Depression, everything was closing down and crashing. He had to go to his banking concept. He had enough in his banking concept to sustain J.C. Penney through the Great Depression. And J.C. Penney's is still standing today. Ray Kroc, y'all heard that right? McDonald's, right? Same thing. Took money from his banking concept to build a concept. So this has been around for a couple hundred years. This is not something new. It's just that we're just trying to make as many individuals aware of it as possible, so that now they can implement it as a strategy for themselves. Why do famous people use life insurance? All those points we just talked about. It's safe, it's liquid, it grows, you can leverage, you can borrow against it, inflation protection. So it's not in the market where you got all the volatility. All right, guaranteed, free of fees, flexible. Let's keep going here. All right, now. Then we're gonna close after this. Okay, how come I never heard of this before? The IRS don't want you to know about this. Because they flush off your tax dollars. Right? So they're not gonna promote this. Banks don't want you to know about this because of the interest. We just saw the interest on mortgages. They don't want you to know about this. And Wall Street don't want you to know about it because fees. If you got 401k, deferred comp, any of the government and still employer plans, they're getting fees to manage those plans, those funds. This has been around over 200 years. The Rockefellers and the Rothschilds have built massive wealth. It's a plan that works no matter what. Well, some people have asked, why can't I just pay my debts off directly? Well, it creates opportunity costs. I done paid my debt off directly. And the money I use, I'm not getting no more growth and interest on that money now. My money did one thing. I paid the debt off. Now, let me put my money in my bank, leverage it out, then pay my debt off. So I'm getting growth and interest on my money while I'm paying my debts off simultaneously. So I'm simultaneously doing two things now instead of one with my money. Your dollar's only doing one job when you do it that way. You're eliminating debt. You have less for retirement and future purchases. It will take you longer to save for retirement and doing that way. This is what Dave Ramsey teaches. He tells you to buy a term and invest the difference. Okay. And your finances will be compromised. And last but not least, Warren Buffett said that poor people would just do what rich people do, they wouldn't be poor anymore. Let me tell you something. Wealthy folk and thousands of people are doing this strategy. It's just that we've never been made aware of it. So from this point, I'm done. You can turn the light back on, sir. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm done, and what I want to do is I got sheets inside of all of the packages that you have. And if you want any more additional information or consultation, or you're interested in exploring how we can help you in your situation, just fill it out, and then we'll schedule an in-person meeting or via Zoom, or you can come to the office downtown, and we'll walk you through all of how this works.
Ms. Walker, before you say anything, when we have a meeting like that, it would be very much appreciated if people would talk all through the meeting, because it's a distraction, and it's disrespectful. So if we can correct that in the future, I would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Amen. God, thank you for your patience.
All right, let's go back.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Quick question, sir. Say if you got just, any number, $100,000 in the bank, how much interest should you get on that $100,000?
So that if you got $100,000 saved, you ain't.
I didn't say I had it, I said hypothetically, if a person have $100,000 in the bank, and a savings, no, not a.
Okay, we're gonna resume.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Savings,
Let's go back.
stay in shape, so.
We're gonna resume the meeting. Then you can ask your question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you was finished.
No, the meeting's not over yet.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that information.
All right, sir.
Any communications? Any responses, memorials? I will ask for moments of silence for two people that passed away in the last week or so here. Mr. Abram from Calhoun and Ms. Martin from Manistee. thank you. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Richardson to adjourn. Could we have a second? Second by trustee Hodges. Will the clerk take the roll?
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Hodges?
Yes.
Trustee Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Mayor, I have a question. We didn't pay that, widen that carriage walk at Lipinski's house, did we?
Can we do what?
Did we pay to widen the carriage walk at Mrs. Lipinski's house?
Yeah.
Why did we do that?
She's a citizen of Burnham.
But we have no standards that we should be paying for carriage walks.
We always do.
No, we don't. No, we don't. The carriage walk is on the resident, not the village. Right? We don't have carriage walks at every house, and
No.
we shouldn't have done it.
Wait, it's between the parkway.
It's on the property.
It's
Right,
between the
it's
skyway and the
Between
parkway.
it.
All right, thank you. Thank you everybody for coming.
Hey, Dwayne, I have a question for you. You got a minute?